Do you know what? Fingers crossed this gets me home. We're 200 miles away from home.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? I thought I won you over. Isn't it funny?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on Bicycle Cars TV. Today we are over in Preston, so literally just got here, jumped into a cab, heading straight down to the car auction, picking up a Honda Jazz. It's an automatic car. Fingers crossed things are going to be okay on that front, because the BCA and automatic cars, they're not always a good match, shall I say. So fingers crossed it's a good one, because we have got a long journey, and if we do run into trouble, it will be very expensive and it's going to delay things as well. So for now, let's head down there and I'll see you in a second.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? I thought I won you over.
So first impressions, guys, taking into account that this is meant to be a grade 5 car, this is definitely not a grade 5 car. I know there were a couple of things on the condition report which did obviously come across that it wasn't in the best of condition, but that's one of the reasons why I saw through that. To me, that doesn't look like a grade 5 car at all. It looks much more like a grade 3 or a grade 4. Over down this side, it's pretty tight. You can't really see much around here. Do you know what? Let me get the car moved over and then I'll give you a proper walk around of the car. Right, let's do that again. Obviously, I've had to turn the car on to move it over, so I'm going to leave it running. And we're in for a little surprise already, so not looking super good start. Let's get on with it anyway. Going down the passenger side, I'll be completely honest with you. Apart from the sill over here, which I knew about and has been repaired already, this is not a grade 5 car at all. To me, this is much cleaner, if not a grade 3, worst case grade 4. Paintwork looks really good, very nice and clean. Now, you're probably starting to pick up, we've got a sports exhaust. It's not actually a sports exhaust, it's definitely got a hole in the exhaust, or something's blowing or whatever. That's going to be fun on the motorway on the way back for the 200-mile drive, but we'll get that rectified once it goes back. But generally speaking, I think condition-wise, looking from the exterior, thumbs up. Now, let me show you the interior and let me show you why I came to Preston to buy this car. So first impressions are looking at the interior. It's not too bad. The actual wear of the seats does look pretty good. Nothing too crazy, but generally speaking, it just needs a good old clean. Nothing out of the ordinary, especially when you factor in the age and the mileage of the car. 127,000 miles. This is sort of what you're going to be expecting. Good thing is it's an SE spec as well, so you do have a couple of extra bits and bobs. You've got fully electric windows, mirrors. Looks like it's got an aftermarket Bluetooth or Parrot as well. So bit of a bonus that. A lot of you eagle-eye viewers would have noticed that we have an automatic gearbox. Now that is why I've come to Preston for this car, and we're going to get into that once we go for a drive. The rear seats as well, again, condition wise, not too bad, just a little bit of dirt around here, especially on the carpet around there, but in terms of the actual condition of the seat, you know, there's minimal damage and no wear or anything like that. Just needs a good old valet, so this is definitely a car which is going to get valeted. So first impressions, it's definitely a lot of positives to take in terms of the bodywork and how it's looking. Interior as well isn't too bad, just needs a good old clean. It is a shame about the blowing exhaust. We're yet to find out what it is. You know, hopefully it's nothing worse. Hopefully it's not going to affect the drive of the car. Definitely something which is going to have to get fixed. What I'm going to do now is get all the cameras set up inside. We've got a long drive to go, so let me get all that done and then I'm going to see you guys in a second. Right, so let's get moving in this Honda Jazz Type R, because that's what it bloody sounds like. Do you know what? Fingers crossed this gets me home. We're 200 miles away from home. The exhaust is blowing, and that's not always a good thing, by the way, sometimes, because it can in extreme cases affect the car's ability to drive. So either it's going to get me home or it's going to be super loud on the motorway and give me a banging headache. But so far, touch wood, the Japanese car is doing very well, because the last thing you want to do is buy a car from auction and it doesn't get you home, because that has happened once before and that is a story to tell on a different day. But for now, let's talk about the Honda Jazz and talk about why I bought this specific car. I guess the key thing about me buying this car is the obvious. It's an automatic. Now, you can buy automatic cars local to where I am, like my local car auction is Blackbush. This is obviously super far away, but generally speaking, you know, down south, small cars, hatchbacks, automatics, they're hot sellers. They're expensive to buy and they're quick to sell. So what that means is you might not make as much margin always, because there's a lot of demand for that, but it's definitely a good car to have in stock. And for me, Japanese cars are pretty reliable, especially gearboxes. You don't really hear about them going wrong, and you tend to hear VW, DSG, Audi, you know, things like those cars that have issues, but it's always a risk with an automatic. Who knows, I might get on the motorway and things don't go right. So far, everything seems great. It went in smoothly, pulled away smoothly, so we're looking good so far. Now, the reason why I've come all the way to Preston is because, like I said, these cars are high in demand. You know, they go for big money when you're trying to buy them. So I've had to stretch out a bit to, you know, get that car into stock. I'm only going to travel this far if there's a substantial margin in the car. Otherwise, why am I going to spend a whole day traveling this far, or pay for recovery, or pay for delivery? It's too much of a risk, it's too much of a cost. So it needs to be worth my while and worth the risk. A balanced risk, shall I say. I want you guys to comment down below and have a guess at what you think I paid for this car. Now, just to give an idea on the retail price of this car, obviously condition, service history, all that plays a factor, but you're looking at between 2,500 to 2,800. Now, that's me pricing it off the southeast and just from cars I've previously sold before. So some people say that's too cheap, or some might say it's too high. But look, that's the region I'm looking to sell this car for. Now, I want you guys to comment down below. Let me know what you think I paid for this car, because again, it's always interesting to see what your thoughts are on this. So that's the background of why I went to buy this car. Service history wise, it's okay, it's nothing special. It needs a service, it needs an MOT as well. It's going to need a back box or whatever else that may be. So money needs to be spent on this car to get it ready for sale. You know, this wasn't a case of buying a car, driving it home, getting it ready for sale, flipping it, you know, like I have done with some of those other videos. They're lovely when you get those, very easy money to make sometimes, but you can't always have it that way, especially when you're selling a lot of cars. You need to be buying stock in quickly. When a deal comes up, you got to go for it. If it needs work doing, it is what it is. Look, we're about 5 or 6 minutes into the drive so far. Everything seems to be working very well. I've tested out the air conditioning, radio, all seems fine. The bonus as well with this car is all the condition of the tyres were fantastic. They look really, really good and very new. So that's a bonus when I come to sell it. Drivability wise, it's very nice. The suspension is great. The gearbox seems good. Engine seems okay as well. So I am pretty happy with this purchase, even if I have had to travel halfway up the country to get it done. So what's the plans for this car? Well, the first thing is I need to head to Costa. I need to get myself a coffee because I've got a long drive home and I'm craving a caramel latte right now. So that's the first part of the plan. Second part of the plan is we're going to get the car taken back to the office, and first thing tomorrow we're going to get working on it. So what are we going to do? The car's going to need an MOT. The car's going to need a service. It's going to need that back box looked at or replaced. And if anything else is picked up on the MOT, that's got to get addressed as well. Once all of those things are done and I'm happy, then I'll look to get the car valeted. Now, a lot of the times I get the car valeted first because I'm pretty confident in the car, but because it needs an MOT, it obviously needs a back box, a little bit of money needs to be spent on the car, so I'm going to do it in that order, get it valeted at the end so it's nice and ready, and then we'll get it put for sale. So that's the plan for this car. What I'll do, rather than me show you the transformation on the car, because really and truly, there's getting it valeted and clean, you're not going to see night and day difference. It needs a clean, but it's not really worth me showing you guys. So rather than that, what I'll do is, on a future video, I'll do a bit of an update into this car, talk you through the costs that were involved in the car as well, and give you an update on how the sale of this car has gone. So that's the plan. That's going to be the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I know it's been a bit of a quick one, but I like to keep it short and snappy, give you guys that insight, because look, traveled really far. The car did have a couple of things wrong that I wasn't expecting. So it's good for me to show you, give you that insight, so you guys know what to expect when you are looking to buy cars yourself. So on that note, guys, I'm going to end today's video here. Thank you so much again for watching, and thank you so much for the followers who have subscribed already. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care, guys.